Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we're going to talk about the new announcement by the US Department of Education where they're going over some fixes to some failures in the student loan program. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight to my laptop right here. So this is the announcement. Department of Education announces actions to fix long-standing failures in the student loan programs. Additional steps help at least 3.6 million borrowers move closer to debt forgiveness and 40,000 borrowers to receive immediate forgiveness. And this was back in April 19th, so just last week. So let's get over here. Today, the Department of Education announced steps that will bring borrowers closer to public service loan and income-driven repayment forgiveness by addressing historical failures in the administration of the federal student loan programs. Federal Student Aid, or FSA, estimates that these changes will result in immediate debt cancellation for at least 40,000 borrowers under the PSLF program. Several thousand borrowers with older loans will also receive forgiveness through IDR. More than 3.6 million borrowers will also receive at least 3 years of additional credit towards IDR forgiveness. Student loans were never meant to be a life sentence, but it certainly felt that way for borrowers locked out of debt relief they're eligible for, said U.S. Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona. Today, the Department of Education will begin to remedy years of administrative failures that effectively denied the promise of loan forgiveness to certain borrowers enrolled in IDR plans. These actions once again demonstrate the Biden-Harris administration's commitment to delivering meaningful debt relief and ensuring federal student loan programs are administered fairly and effectively. So I'm not going to read everything here. Let's just going to go straight over here. Ending forbearance steering now. I personally don't know what that meant, but let's go over here. Department regulations require that borrowers who are facing difficulty making their loan payments get clear and accurate information from servicers about their options for staying out of delinquency, including IDR plans and the financial consequences of choosing short-term options like forbearance. However, FSA reviews suggest that loan servicers placed borrowers into forbearance in violation of department rules, even when their monthly payment under an IDR plan could have been as low as $0. These findings are consistent with the concerns raised by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and state attorneys general. A borrower advised to choose an IDR plan instead of forbearance can get a reduced payment, stay in good standing, and make progress toward loan forgiveness. A borrower advised to choose forbearance, particularly long-term consecutive or serial users of forbearance, can see their loan balance and monthly payments grow due to interest capitalization and lead to delinquency or default. So from what I understand here, forbearance steering is actually the very first time I've heard about this term, but apparently what it means is that a lot of loan servicers are pushing borrowers to go into forbearance instead of going into IDR plans, and I guess that's what's happening here. And as we've seen here, this is in violation of department rules, so this is a very good first step towards kind of like fixing student loan programs. So let's go over the fixes that they are going to do for this specific type of issue. The department will address forbearance steering by number one, conducting a one-time account adjustment to count certain long-term forbearances toward IDR and PSLF forgiveness. Borrowers steered or inappropriately placed into long-term forbearances miss out on critical progress toward IDR and PSLF forgiveness, and this can set them back years. The department's regulations and servicer contracts have safeguards, including a 12-month limit for any single use of forbearance and a 36-month cumulative limit on discretionary forbearance. I'm not gonna read that one. To mitigate the harms of inappropriate steering into long-term forbearance, FSA will conduct a one-time account adjustment that will count forbearances of more than 12 months consecutive and more than 36 months cumulative toward forgiveness under IDR and PSLF. Borrowers who are steered into shorter-term forbearances will be able to seek account review by filing a complaint with the FSA Ombudsman. So that's number one. Let's go to number two right here. Number two is increasing oversight of services forbearance use. FSA will target forbearance steering by restricting servicers' ability to enroll borrowers in forbearance by text or email, conducting an external review of patterns of forbearance use and servicers' practices to identify other potential changes to address steering, and working in partnership with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to do regular audits of forbearance use. This will build upon other FSA efforts to improve oversight of loan servicing activities, including stronger accountability provisions in servicing contracts, renewing partnerships with federal and state regulators, and clarifying its position on federal preemption of state oversight of loan servicing. FSA will begin implementing these changes immediately, but borrowers may not see the effect in their accounts until the last quarter of 2022. So that's actually the second one. I guess in terms of forbearance steering right here, The next one right here is tracking progress toward IDR forgiveness. IDR plans offer substantially lower monthly payments for most borrowers. Borrowers on most plans are entitled to forgiveness after 20 years of payments and depend on FSA and its services to accurately track their progress toward relief. However, the department's review of IDR payment tracking procedures has revealed significant flaws that suggest borrowers are missing out on progress toward IDR forgiveness. Now, I believe this is one of the biggest problems that a lot of borrowers have been facing. I've seen it and read it in Reddit actually, that they seem to have problems tracking their progress towards kind of like the PSLF program. For them, it started to feel like that they were doing something, but it wasn't actually moving the needle at all. So let's just see that, with all these things being implemented, it will start to get fixed. Anyway, the department is committed to fixing this problem swiftly and permanently. Secretary Cardona has directed FSA to conduct a one-time revision of IDR payments to address past inaccuracies. To fully address past issues with IDR payment counting, FSA will do a one-time revision of IDR qualifying payments for all direct student loans and federally managed Federal Family Education Loan Program or FFEL loans. Any months in which borrowers made payments will count toward IDR regardless of repayment plan. Payments made prior to consolidation on consolidated loans will also count. This fix is necessary to correct for data problems and past implementation inaccuracies. Any borrower who has made the required number of payments for IDR forgiveness based on this payment count revision will receive loan cancellation automatically. So there you go, that's actually quite good news. Additionally, FSA will count months spent in deferment prior to 2013 toward IDR forgiveness, with exception of in-school deferment, for the same population of borrowers to address concerns that, prior to that date, its data cannot distinguish IDR eligible deferments from other deferments. Now, there's like a lot of mumbo jumbo there, but you can definitely read this one by yourself and kind of like make your own assumptions and conclusions regarding this announcement. I'm going to link this announcement in the description below. Anyway, let's go over next here. Permanently fix IDR payment counting by reforming FSA's IDR tracking. Borrowers should be able to rely on FSA and its loan servicers to keep accurate records of their progress toward forgiveness through IDR plans. FSA will issue new guidance to student loan servicers to ensure accurate and uniform payment counting practices, and it will track payment counts in its own modernized data systems. In 2023, FSA will begin displaying IDR payment counts on studentaid.gov, so borrowers can view their progress after logging into their accounts. In addition, the department plans to revise the terms of IDR through rulemaking to further simplify payment counting by allowing more loan statuses to count toward IDR forgiveness, including certain types of deferments and forbearances. Well, as for the last paragraph, it's all about just, the Biden-Harris administration kind of like totaling all their canceled student loan debt. But anyway, there you go. There are two main focus for this announcement. It's basically all about ending forbearance steering and tracking progress toward IDR forgiveness. So they want to kind of like implement two fixes for each of those two issues. For forbearance steering, they're going to make some sort of adjustment so that some kind of like forbearances could count toward IDR and PSLF forgiveness. And then the second fix for that first issue is to increase oversight of servicers' forbearance use, because apparently some servicers have been misusing the number of forbearances that they can provide, or they can kind of like tell people or borrowers that they can have. So instead of helping those borrowers get out of debt quickly, they're just prolonging the debt, so that I don't know why, to be honest. In my opinion, I think they're just keeping it there so that they can have the account longer. But anyway, I really don't know what's happening in the back end. But anyway, the second issue is kind of like fixing the progress tracking for IDR payments, or at least their progress, right? And like I said earlier, this is a big issue among student loan borrowers because they don't really know what their progress looks like for student loan forgiveness. So the two fixes that the Education Department is going to implement is first conducting a one-time revision of some of the past inaccuracies so that it can rectify or remedy a lot of those issues that have been done in the past. And their second solution for their second issue is to improve their tracking systems. Basically, they're going to tell those loan servicers to improve, make some new guidelines so that they can follow, have a kind of like universal sort of tracking system so that everybody has the same data, something like that. And then the FSA will also have their own data system so that they can kind of like balance and then check whether or not the data that the loan servicer is providing them and providing the student loan borrowers are also accurate. And that is it for the entire video. That's the announcement by the Education Department. They basically addressed two concerns or issues that have been plaguing the student loan system, and they have offered two fixes or two implementation or two changes for those two issues. So basically there are four fixes that they're going to implement right now, but student loan borrowers will not see any changes, or they will not see any effects of it until the end of 2022. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you read this announcement at all? If you haven't, I'm going to link it down in the description so that you can also read it as well. And if you have any concerns or maybe need some help with some sort of student loan problems, then let me know in the comments below, so I'll try to find some answers for your questions. And if you have student loans and you want to help other people as well, comment them down below so that you can kind of like share your experience so that people can learn from you as well. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching the entire video. If you like content just like this one, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and share this with your friends and family who really need this content. And also, if you're on Instagram at DailyDread, please add me there so that we can chat, collaborate, and exchange some ideas. I highly appreciate you stopping by and watching this video. Have an awesome and wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.